Hello and welcome to the 8th episode of Entech TV. I'm Miranda Skerman, filling in for Pamela. Over the last 8 months, Entech TV has brought to you exciting new innovations and technology in the entertainment industry. But to see all this and more, the best way is to register for free online and attend the Entech Trade Show from July 19th to the 21st at the Sydney Convention Centre. To register, just jump onto entechintech.com and follow the prompts. Look forward to seeing you there. In this episode, we will be talking to Rob Halliday in London, who will be a key speaker at the Entech Trade Show. But first, the Entech team visited Keith Lewis from Crackerjack Fireworks and had a chat to him about how pyrotechnics and aerotechnics are still a big crowd pleaser at major events.
Hi, I'm Keith Lewis and I'm from Crackerjack. Here I have a couple of my little toys that I'm just going to let off right now, and well, there we go. And occasionally we go a little bit further and a little bit more. So Crackerjack actually was only formed about 15 years ago. We were able to offer unique services that no one else had by having the pyrotechnics and special effects, which were exploding balloons and all the ancillary things. Crackerjack and aerotechnics go side by side. Pyrotechnics are all, you need a licence for pyrotechnics. They're explosive-based compositions and you must have a licence to use them in Victoria. Aerotechnics are compressed air and anybody can use them without a licence, but we do give safety courses on them because an aerotechnic cannon can put an apple through a brick wall at about 50 paces. We've done Dancing with the Stars, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, My Restaurant Rules. We've done the basketball introduction with the Giants with Andrew Gaze. We've done the wrestling, SmackDown. But we've been associated with everything from school fetes, school plays, weddings, engagements, 21sts. Recently went over to Tasmania and shot some body parts off into space. We shot their ashes over the bay. Everybody toasted the wife away, goodbye, and the husband fired the shot that shot her ashes over the harbour. AC/DC, KISS. We've worked on a lot of the headline concerts. And I had a lot of fun doing it. For the last 11 years I've been running WorkSafe accredited courses, and everybody that does the course goes on to get their licence. One girl is now the head pyrotechnician at Disney World and she does about 5 shows a week or 7 shows a week. She went over there with our certificate and a licence and she hammered on the door. We've got operators in Dream World, Cryle Castle, we used to do a lot up there. So anywhere whether it's a theme or adventure park, we do a lot of religious organisation. We run an annual show at the Burwood Cemetery. Must be good, everybody's trying to get in. WorkSafe are bringing the pyrotechnics now in accord with the industrial blasting and the heavy blasting equipment. So we're going to, we're fighting tooth and nail to stop it from coming in. But they're talking about not only licensing the driver of the vehicle, but licensing the vehicle. They're undergoing radical changes on the regulations. Now we have to rewrite the entire course once it goes through Parliament and gets legislated, which will be in November. We're in the discussion stages at the moment. Once that course is rewritten, we'll reinstitute them. I'm currently running a course at the moment with 12 students, which will be the very last lucky enough to undergo the current legislation. But anybody wanting to do the course, as long as they're over 18, can do the course. And we get a lot of people that will never let a fireworks off in their life. They're operators from the venues that want to know that the pyrotechnicians that are coming in are doing the correct job and the right thing. We get a lot of technical people. I've run courses for the Arts Centre staff and the safety officers. We've run them for the Crown Casino so that their staff know what's going on as well and that their compliances are being met. A specific licence that has endorsements on the back of it allowing you to only do indoor fireworks such as stage and production shows, outdoor fireworks up to a certain level, or over and above that level depending on the endorsement you have on the licence. Totally, I've been actually running the company for 56 years now. We have a lot of fun.
World-class manufacturers depend upon National Audio Systems, Australia's #1 distributor of pro and commercial audio. You can achieve great things with the right products, people and professionalism. National Audio Systems.
Welcome back. This year at the ENTECH trade show there will be numerous keynote speakers, and we are fortunate enough to have Rob Halliday, a lighting designer, on the line all the way from London. Welcome to ENTECH TV. Could you explain how yourself and Plaza got involved in the ENTECH trade show?
Well, I'm not the expert on this, but Plaza, as the British trade show, was the British trade organisation, now merged with Leicester in the US as well, and run the Plaza trade show in London, which has always had a seminar programme around it, which has been a great way of going and finding out new things, as well as just going and looking at new products at the trade show. And I don't know how the link happened, but ENTECH were looking for people to help them, I think, and I think Plaza got involved. I got involved because Plaza asked me, because I've worked for them a lot. And hopefully it'll be a good combination of the experience and the people from Plaza with ENTECH and the great people in Australia, and we can all learn from each other. I think that would be a fantastic collaboration.
So Rob, you'll be hosting some seminars at ENTECH. Could you tell us what you'll be discussing?
And what I'm going to try and do, hopefully, is trade shows, you will always go and talk to the manufacturers, and they will always tell you the good stuff and the exciting stuff and what's fantastic about their product. And what we learn when we use it in a show is some of the pitfalls of the products, some of the things that don't work quite as well, some of the things that you don't really discover until you use it, some of the things that can then be really frustrating. And I'm hoping to, it sounds a bit pretentious to say share my experience, but warn you of some of the possible problems so that before you commit the product to your show, before you end up in the tech rehearsal and something doesn't work as well, you go in a little bit forewarned. Forearmed is a good way of looking at it, so that you know what to expect. And we're going to do that with some real world examples of products we've used on real shows to solve real problems. And it's kind of an exercise in sometimes the advantages this stuff gives you outweighs all possible problems. Sometimes the problems might outweigh the advantage, and it's just finding the right balance.
And you worked on the Mary Poppins musical in London. Did you encounter any pitfalls with that job?
Well, it wasn't really pitfalls. That was an example of a really good piece of technology. It's the problem was there's a sky cyclorama in the show, and normally you have meters of space behind it to light it. And for the tour, we had 30 centimeters, so a foot, more or less. And we found a new product, a new LED product called Even LED, which let us achieve that. And it's brilliant, 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 brilliant. But then we had to go figure out how you suddenly control 26 universes of DMX, which is a lot of stuff for a sky, how you toured it, how you rigged it, all that kind of thing. On that application, the advantage means that the sky looks beautiful, we can do amazing things, but it was just solving the problems. So, for example, when we first looked at it, and this is true of a lot of LED products, you could just perceive the lights stepping as they faded in and out. And when you have an enormous sky backing the stage, that would be really obvious. So we went back to the manufacturers and said, we love your product, we think it's great, but could you just do something about this? And they were really good at reacting to it. And so now the product fades incredibly smoothly and it looks beautiful. So, you know, again, sometimes the manufacturers don't quite understand what the problem is, but if you can go back to them and say, look, in our application, this needs to be better, most of them are very good at saying, okay, yeah, we can probably do that. And it becomes a great collaboration again.
Do you just work as a lighting designer, or do you get hands-on?
Yeah, it depends on the show, because I kind of have two jobs. Sometimes I'm the lighting designer, so I'm the one sort of coming up with the ideas and doing it. Sometimes, a lot of the time, I'm the programmer or the associate lighting designer or one of those sort of helping on the edges jobs. I sort of have stopped worrying about the job titles because they're all so flexible and they mean so many different things. And the only person who ever reads the program and really cares about it is my mother. So, you know, that's fine by me. On the shows where I'm doing that, yeah, absolutely. The lighting designer has the ideas, but my job is then to take the kind of fantasy they have of what they want to achieve and to help them turn that into the reality of getting the lights on stage. And that might be figuring out practical stuff of rigging and control. It might, when we get into the theatre, it'll be figuring out how you program it, what console you want to use, how you deal with that, how you set it all up. And my theory is they shouldn't have to worry about any of that. So the show we've just done in London, which is a new Cameron Mackintosh musical called Betty Blue Eyes, that is a very good new show that might appear in Australia eventually. We ended up with 3 control systems because there was lighting control, there was video control that we acquired, and there's another set of computers dealing with, again, the sky and the evenlaid stuff. And the lighting designer, his thank you card to me at the end said, thank you, because I didn't have to care about any of that stuff. I could just concentrate on lighting the show. And that's what he wants to do. That's his interest. So my job, I think, is to sort of try and take that stuff away from them.
When you talk at seminars, what kind of feedback do you prefer from your audience?
Well, I was going to say, the other thing I'm hoping with all of them is that I don't want to come and blah, 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 blah for hours on end. So I'm hoping that people show up and butt in and ask questions, and particularly the one about consoles and programming can become more of a discussion about how we all do stuff. Because everybody has something to learn from everybody else. I don't think I really know anything necessarily better than anybody else. I've just maybe done it more. But I'm hoping it can almost become a big free-for-all and I'll just be the referee at the front. So that, I think, will be good fun.
Rob, thank you so much for talking to us today, and we look forward to catching up with you at ENTECH.
Looking forward to seeing everyone there.
Jans have been designing, building and operating lighting equipment since we made our first dimmer in 1970. Since then, our products have become a standard feature of lighting rigs the world over. But we don't just offer our own lighting equipment, we've also identified the very best products available from other manufacturers around the world. Whether you're after a control console or a moving light, a dimming solution or a power distribution system, an architectural package or a conventional fixture, Jans has the product to suit your application. Jans, no one knows lighting like we do.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of ENTECH TV, and as usual, we will have another jam-packed show for you next month on the internet's best entertainment technology show, ENTECH TV. Bye for now.